Everybody tune in. I'm so sorry for the delay. Gandhi couldn't make it, so we had to back out and try and find someone. Immortal's here to hop in for his place. We got Loco here, going to cover the European scene. This is episode 3 of Active Reload. Everybody introduce yourselves if you want. Let's get it going.
Yeah, what's up, guys? DaFacex here, Hypefestation commentator, all around badass. I'm your rank nightmare. So anyway, what's going on? Hit me up at Twitter, DaFacex, and I'll pass that on.
Just head down the line, Loco. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm Josh Venino, aka Loco, veteran European player on Gears of War and Halo, and you can catch me on @Loco on Twitter and my Facebook fan page. That is Loco EU. Like it, please.
We like that. All right, everybody. ImmortalSpawn, Rob Ambrose, representing Philadelphia, PA, South Jersey, born and raised. Team RawTalentGaming.com. I've been playing this game since '06. Looking forward to competing. We were undefeated at the first Hypefestation. Me and Kendall, the only people undefeated at that first hype. So we're looking forward to the second one. So good luck to all teams the next coming 2 weeks, and looking forward to a good show. And with that, KL.
Yes, what's up, guys? Kendall here, KL, arCtyC, captain of Team Amazing, and looking forward to the show. Third show here. Got some really good topics. Can't wait to hear from Josh and Rob, so it's going to be fun.
Alright, tonight we are going to be covering the European scene for a little bit, and Loco, that's all you. Anything you want to talk about, just get people informed, because I know a lot of people don't even know there's any community at all in Europe for Gears of War.
Well, yeah, you know, the European scene, even back in the day on Gears of War 1, it was always about one team, Dignitas. And even then, people knew about Europe when Dignitas went over to Toronto, and we did well. But yeah, there is a thriving European scene. We thrive a lot off how the American scene does, but you know, in our recent tournament, we've had 57 teams signing up, and it really is a community that wants to be integrated in the holistically into the general Gears of War community as a whole. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to help publicize Europe, but also to share my opinions on how the Gears of War community can work together on either continent.
Nice. He said, Loco, let me ask you a question. I guess we might as well just jump right off into this raffle of questions. What's up, man? The last time I heard anything about the European scene, you guys had some kind of rules, about shooting nades off of walls and whatnot. How have you guys been progressing, kind of thing? How are you guys settings looking? I mean, have you guys just kind of slowly adapted to how what's going on over here in the U.S. and gameplay game style?
It was well, the gameplay game style, honestly, it's quite an aggressive play style. You know, we watched all the VODs, and because of Gears 1, we've kind of a long time ago we realized how Gears of War was meant to be played, especially with Dignitas at the forefront. But yeah, in terms of the rules, it's very hard because with MLG and even when Hypefestation weren't so committed to a solid rule set at the time, we wasn't really sure what was cheap, what wasn't cheap, and at the same time we have to keep everyone in Europe happy. You know, they don't have the same competitive experience of going to events, so they don't really like the idea of being able to tag grenades to walls. Having said that, I have to fully, based on what I put in a conversation with a few of you, tagging nades and stuff isn't actually that big a deal. I think a lot of people are exaggerating the problem, including myself, and over-dramatizing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, it adds an element to the game, especially your team is responsible, especially a dead teammate, man. You got to search them cameras, and I don't think it's a problem at all.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's an opportunity cost of not throwing a grenade as opposed to tagging it. You know, you might get one kill if you tag it, but you might get more kills if you throw it. So
you can get that secret tag off when the entire opposing team is still alive. But I mean, if they got one guy dead, it should never really cost your team.
In execution, it's not a problem. Honestly, you can hear it for one. The sound of a game is insane. You can hear footsteps. It's like Call of Duty, but it's just a waste of a grenade. If you pick up power weapons early and you make a decision to tag them, then yeah, I fully agree. It just isn't going to work out.
Yeah.
Now, I know coming up in Gears of War 1, the Gears of War 1 EU scene was huge, right? And then Gears of War 2 comes out, and it'd be fair to say that the EU scene kind of dropped off.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's even though right now it's growing and it's thriving, it's always such a fickle community. You know, you do one thing and everyone either loves it or they all get upset collectively. There's never any middle ground. So we had to make a decision. Really, I mean, personally, I was still headlining well, being ahead of the community, but I was slowly transitioning over to Halo at the same time. I wanted to leave the community in the strongest possible position, so that should Gal3 hit, even though it was really long-term thinking at the time, but should Gal3 hit, that will be, you know, in a good position. Gal2 simply was not working for the community. Now, I do know that Gal2 actually became a lot better towards the later stages, but no one could envisage, you know, that these updates were going to improve the game. And at the end of the day, I actually did attend the tournament as soon as Gal2 came out, when the glitch where you blind fire and the bullets still hit the ground were hitting the floor, and you know, and no one that really left a sour taste in Europe's mouth, to be honest. So after that, it was Gal 1. Yeah.
Nice.
Right on. And then with Gal 3, are you seeing a steady, healthy increase in the growth of the EU community?
Well, in Gears of War 1, we'd get about 32 teams to events, but online turnout for tournaments, I say about 32 teams as well. Now we're going to get, well, from console gaming, the console gaming tournament, hosted by European Gaming League, we've got about 57 signups. We could easily get 64 by the end of a week. So in terms of an online base of people playing, yeah, it's growing. In terms of an online base of people contributing to the forums and to a general community, it's still a little bit difficult. But look, the most important thing is that we have the teams there, and now we just have to convince them to get involved.
Yeah, cool. arCtyC, Mortal, Crream, you guys got anything for them?
Yeah, I definitely have some, but KL can go ahead first.
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay.
First.
No, I heard you sigh. I thought you were brewing
No, I'm just
something.
clearing my
There.
throat.
All right. So what fascinates me the most about the European community is coming in and having no idea what type of strategies you guys are gonna have. It's like you know, whatever schooling system you went through, whatever your coaches taught you playing sports growing up. Like, it's so different from us, and the most intriguing thing to me is just that right there. Like, you grew up somewhere else, whether it's in the water or what, man. It's always something different. I think one of the most exciting things was in Gears 1 when Dignitas started doing its thing, and it was just exciting for everybody, So
Yeah.
my question to you is we see your play style, when I say you, I mean European community itself. We see your play style being a little bit different, a little bit more aggressive, however you want to look at it. But what do you see as American teams play? When you watch our streams or when you compete against us, do you see trends or anything like that?
Well, I can start off this point. Let's look at Gal 1 to see how the European the playstyle has evolved over time relative to the American community. Now, on Gal 1, really the more aggressive community on a whole was the American. You take the most aggressive team from America and the most aggressive team from Europe, Dignitas, whereas in America it was 3, 4, 5, 6 teams who were all aggressive, maybe more. So Gears 1 was a little bit different. We weren't as aggressive. I would say we were just unorthodox. We did things that we don't have. Our community didn't have the same competitive mindset as it does now. Even now, it's still developing. So we had to find ways of how we're going to counter Americans, how we're going to surprise Americans. Innovation really was the fundamental key to our gameplay there. On Gal 3, however, I mean, it's also a combination of the kind of teammates I have now. How Gal 3 plays out, as a matter of fact, the VODs we've seen, we are a lot more aggressive, and Europe is a lot more aggressive right now. I mean, the only difference really is the focus on teamfire and lancering. I think in Europe I'm not saying my team, but I think in Europe in general, the whole concept of teamfire and playing, playing not selfishly, basically playing with some selflessness, it's not the same in Europe right now. People are more concerned about creating their own name as opposed to, creating their own team's name. But you'll see us out in Hyperstation, and we'll get a good idea of how we compare in terms of playstyles, in terms of quality. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
the
that's
end
really
result.
what I'm looking forward to. And I watched an online competition that was streamed. That was the Europe. What was the name of that tournament? It was a few months, maybe 2 months ago.
That was maybe the Swedish tournament, the Gal.se tournament, possibly.
Yeah. So I was watching some of those matches, and I wanted to ask you, aside from yourself, I didn't really think the commentary was that great, and I think that it could be enhanced a lot more. Is there anybody over there that represents, from a commentary, from a personality standpoint? Do you think that you guys are lacking such a face, or?
Well, absolutely, there are people who are definitely going to step up to a plate in terms of making the whole package of of the marketability of European gears, and that is people like Trapstar, for example. Trapstar he's an admin on galforum.net,
Yeah.
the European for gears, and
Okay.
he's a really good commentator, and he only really discovered that he was a good commentator at EGL4, which is the London Emirates Stadium. So there's people like him. I fill in now and again, but as a player, I don't want to be involved too much because I have biased opinions, and even so, we also have Hooligan. I think a few of you know about Hooligan. I'm not so
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, I've worked with him a little bit. On some
Yeah,
projects.
Liam, he's a pretty good guy.
He is a cool guy, and he's getting involved. It's a shame he wanted to come to Hype, but he couldn't make it. So we're trying to make him kind of a host of or just another commentator for Gears of War. But as the scene grows, we're going to find new talent, not just in terms of the gameplay, but in terms of the commentators, the hosts, the people who can produce the right media, the right articles, the right content, all that kind of stuff.
That's really interesting. So here's my whole thing with the European scene as opposed to American scene. And one of the things that I absolutely love about the European scene, when Gears 1 was on its last legs, and how our community is, it's always been really stagnant. And I'm not stagnant, that's not the word, kind of separated in the States as far as people being tight-knit and working together and trying to build something up more than what there is now outside of MLG. In the European scene, there is no MLG. So what I've noticed is that the community there, although smaller, is much more tight-knit in terms of working together to make things work.
Yeah.
And one of the concepts that we're trying to work on now here in the American scene is getting everyone on the same page and working towards building up the community so that at the end of the day, if we wanted to have a tournament like Hypefest Station, for example, we could get those teams out there without saying, hey, we need an MLG event. So one of the things I always thought about when I associated with European was that camaraderie. So what type of things did you guys do to kind of build that scene up? Like, was it just word of mouth? Did you guys get pumped up? Did you guys pump up your friends?
It's an interesting combination of factors, really. I mean, the European gear scene as a whole was quite unified. They loved to attend. If you think about 2 seasons of MLG, you guys had about 12 events. In 2 seasons of Gears in Europe, the people who didn't go to MLG, i.e. everyone but one team, they only had about 6 events over 2 years. So everyone still hadn't got enough of Gears 1. That was a key factor in itself. Then there was the European Gaming League. The European Gaming League is the biggest event, the biggest console tournament in Europe. So the inaugural event in Liverpool that really attracted a lot of teams. And even though Gears 1 did steadily decline over time, it's always had this core base of people. Then the fact that the Gears 3 was coming out, everyone had high hopes that it would surpass Gears. The beginning, I would say, the beginning disappointment of Gears 2. And you know what I mean. So yeah, I guess really it's a combination of things. I think also one thing I don't want to actually underestimate is what the American scene does influences how much a lot of Europeans are committed and also enjoy Gears of War. It's a great game. Gears of War 3 is definitely I think it's a worthy successor to Gears 1. But really, at the same time, I don't want it to be like this, but at the same time, I'm happy for it to be like this. Look, if America is Gears of War in America succeeding, then in Europe it's going to succeed. But we have proven that without America, we can stand on our own 2 feet.
Mm-hmm. So, then that's one of the things that I've always been like, wow. And when I talk about some of my teammates, within ourselves, like, hey, look at how they were doing it way back when, and how separated, and we're always bickering over here. So I always kind of looked up to that.
Yeah, I mean, look, people are people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Someone's always going to be there to complain, and even if it's the minority, the minority voices, they always sound louder than the rest of everyone else, So.
Is there any U.S. teams that you guys have been scrimming, kind of as like your scrim buddy teams or anything along them lines?
Oh,
and is there a particular team that you want to come in and really get a piece of their ass?
Well. In terms of teams who have been playing us, quite a lot of teams. There's DBF, there's LOX, there's Favering, there's Ambition. I don't want to carry on naming because I don't want to leave anyone out because you don't understand how much we appreciate American teams playing us. It's so crucial for us. But one thing I will say, by the way, just on our other subject, is that East Coast hosts on Gears of War 3, if it's a good host, it's actually pretty good for us. We don't have to sacrifice any of our play style in order to play on a good East Coast host. But anyway, so Favering and Ambition, we've had two really great series with a Favering and a great series of Ambition. Teams that we're looking to get out for, well, from a personal point of view, I really want to play Infinity because I've played them twice now. Once at WCG, once at MLG, and both times they were a team who stopped us in our tracks. Other than, of course, Dallas, where Retaliation were absolutely on fire and had the event of their lives. But yeah.
All right,
No one remembers that.
Yeah. So.
Strange. Is that all we got to cover on the whole European scene? Do you have anything to add, Loco, or?
Well, yeah. Look, I mean, it'd be great to see if basically, I want to see more Americans appear, make a few appearances now and again on streams, European streams, on the forums, because Europeans love it. When it's just like in Halo, you get a Halo guy going over to the European Halo forums, and they all get excited because the European, they're a brand extension. People like Neighbor, T-Squared, they're a brand in their own right, and people respect somebody, they look up to these kind of players, and it generates activity. And the problem, I think, at the minute is that American Gears of War, we have great people who are doing a lot of content, media, Crream, arCtyC. I don't want to miss out any people because I don't want to offend anyone because a lot of people do so much work. But we still need more people who can become brands, become idols, and people who can look up to them. Because in Europe, that will be a crucial factor in how much activity it generates on our forums, and therefore how much as a community that we grow together.
Yeah, we kind of touched on that the past two episodes that. We kind of all feel that there's not enough pro players doing enough in the community. I mean, it's only like a handful. I mean, obviously CDN and Vicious doing the whole Hyperstation is huge. arCtyC pretty much owns YouTube Gears of War. I mean,
owns it.
That's all him.
Copyrighted.
Yeah.
No.
YouTube actually uses ink to sign the checks. That's real signature.
I gotta ask why are more people not doing what arCtyC does? He's doing the pro player tips. All the media, Crream does it as well, but little things like pro player tips. Yeah, a lot of pro players might snuff at it and make the odd stupid comment, but it adds so much value to a casual gamer. Casual gamers, they love it. They want to see pro player tips. They want to know how to use a dig of a sniper. Things that we take for granted or we might think are stupid. No, they're not. It's a great way of getting new players involved, and I really wish that, especially top teams. I mean, I'm going to pick on this right now because it's something that quite annoys me, and I think it needs to be said. Why the hell do teams like Infinity not do anything in terms of marketing Gears of War? They're the top team, Atmosphere. He's been the top player on Gears 1, 2, 3, and we've seen nothing of him. And I think he's doing a disservice to the community like that. He's taking a lot and not giving a lot back. Yeah, he's a great player and they're a great team, but why don't we do more? Why aren't our top players not doing more?
It's a lot more. It's like, it comes down to a lot about your personality when it comes down to that, too.
Yeah.
And Ammo is a great player, but, I just know you really got to push. Like, you really got to want to be that person. And I don't think he wants to be that person, and you can't knock him for it, but I just don't think he wants the attention.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
And it would be great. That's okay. It would be awesome for the community, and we all try to promote certain players like that. And I wish I could, personally, I wish I could do more. But I'm busy. I try to do as much as I can. And that's my thing. I try to promote my teammates to do things and everybody really. But if you really have to want to do it. You really have to. If you feel rewarded by giving to the community and you want that attention, then it's worth it for you. But if you don't like it,
it's not just the reward factor at the end of the day. I mean, so say you take a handful of the top teams. If they help the community grow, they benefit. They're the better teams. Therefore, they get to play in bigger tournaments, more tournaments with bigger cash funds. It all works together at the end of the day.
Yeah, well,
exactly. Yeah.
When it comes down to a player like Atmo, at the end of the day, coming from Gal 1, Gal 2, Gal 3, does the guy have to produce content?
He produces content with his gameplay.
Yeah,
right. That's for sure.
He does content with his gameplay. Everybody knows exactly who he is, and I think we had this discussion last week as well, kind of thing. It comes down to you know, like you need to know how to do it. You know, I mean, you just don't want to throw anything. You just don't want to throw anything up on the internet kind of thing and go from there. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's got to be something quality, something kind of produced, and to self-teach yourself, you know, those skills is somewhat difficult, I'm sure.
I mean,
One thing, Loco, I want to kind
go
of
ahead.
add to that is, it, I always feel like those players are obligated, just like you, to do things. But the thing that I think really affects the rest of the community is if you look at it from the top down, a lot of the players on game battles who don't really get into YouTube or don't really pay attention, they just look at stats and who's on the forums and who's known, everyone who's
Yeah.
known.
Yeah.
Uh, they look at players like Infinity, the players from Infinity, the players from NBN, Insanes, and they say, what are those guys doing? I want to do what they're doing. So if
Yeah.
Atmo gets on the forums and he talks shit about 20 people, those
Well,
guys
yeah.
think that's okay, and then that's what they do. So it's
Yeah.
like the top players always influence the guys down low. So from my perspective, hitting on what you're saying, that's the only thing that I don't care if they really don't change what they're doing in terms of stream, because a lot of those guys are streaming now. They feel like that's content. But in terms of how they kind of carry themselves
Yeah.
and influencing everyone else, that's one thing I would kind of tweak personally.
Yeah, I mean, look, you said it perfectly there, and also it's just not about being very top players. It's about the vocal players. Look at the person who creates most content in the Halo community. It's JT Bravo. Is JT Bravo a professional Halo player? No, he's a professional coach. He doesn't pick up the controller to play much at all. He does he does a lot of videos, but there needs to be these people in Gears of War, people like the JT Bravos, as well as the top players producing the right content. At the end of the day, why do we all play games? Not because, yeah, we get to play at MLG or Hyperstation, and it's great playing these tournaments, but why do we play games? Some maybe for, for the giggles or whatnot, but others to become a professional player. What is a professional player? A professional player is not someone who competes at MLG. A professional player, they don't have to compete at MLG at the end of the day. If they're self-sufficient with their income, if they're a brand in their own right, then they can compete at any tournament they want and be successful. So we don't just have to look towards something like MLG. We have to unite, use events like Hyperstation to promote ourselves, to promote Gears of War.
Hmm.
I agree with you. And Kenny, you're kind of prime example of this right now, being able to step down and do things like this. And I know you're not competing at Hype, and I couldn't be able to do it, man. I have way too much drive to compete still, so I give you props for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I know it definitely wasn't easy. I mean, it's mainly because I had my team, me, Crank, Yuli, and if it was Eric Fine or even if Scar, because I love Manny, I always have. But the team didn't happen, and that's I don't really want a team with anyone else. When I look back on it, it's just I could do the whole free agent thing. I'm already, I'm gonna wait to see what happens after Hype 2 and see what's around and if I feel it. But
Right.
at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know, not really feeling competing anymore. I guess it's just not there.
It's still great that you're involved, though, Crream.
I couldn't
it's still
ever get
great.
out of this. I love Gears. I love Gears. It's
Yeah.
the only shooter I can hop on every day and still have fun with it.
You have your
Agreed.
legacy. At the end of the day, you have your legacy anyway. You won your event.
I won
You had
my
your
event.
time
I'm good.
worked out. So, you can
On
leave in
Gears
peace,
1
right?
too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So can we get on to some of that competitive Hype Festation talk
Oh,
that we been itching to talk about?
Of course, yeah. Let's start off.
Yeah.
I know Rob
Uh-oh.
saw it, Charlie
Oh,
saw
God.
it, Kale saw it. The
Oh,
whole
no.
Silverback thing,
Don't
it
say it.
exploded today. We gotta cover it because next week is all Hype Festation, and
I have a good transition then.
I just, I've already voiced my opinion. I said it's not easy to disable. The big issue was that apparently there's a glitch that if you hop in or hop out of the Silverback, the animation nullifies the whole smoke grenade, disabling the Silverback for about 10 seconds, I think it is. So people are now abusing that, and then everybody's flipping out saying that at Hype people are going to abuse it, blah, blah, blah. And then, pretty much Caesar came in there and said that, we will have a ref watching it because if you think about it, what else is a ref looking for on Rustlong? Like glitch-wise. There's no like glitches like there used to be. I mean, that's the only one, and Silverback is OP, but it's also easy to disable, so I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I've seen tons of scrims where Silverback was handed to the other team, and the other team didn't even touch it, and they won Rustlong easy. I've seen times where Ruslan was being dominated so bad that they wouldn't even let the team push the button. That's how bad they were getting slapped. So, personally, I think it's just everybody overreacting, and they just need to relax because there will be a ref there watching, and if you do it, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you do it, or if you exploit the game, you know, in front of your peers, you know, I mean, without a doubt, you know, consequences are going to be made. You know, you had a good run.
Uh-huh. This is my thing. There's going to be situations where you want to hop out of the silverback because you want to hop out of the silverback. Done. End of story. Okay? The other team threw a smoke grenade. You didn't know they threw a smoke grenade. Okay, like you hopped out. I didn't know he threw a smoke grenade. There's going to be all this drama that's going to happen. There's going to be arguments that can be completely avoided. Now, this is me telling you this because I love wrestling. I think it's like honestly one of the best maps designed for Gears 3.
Yep.
It's so awesome. Like it's great. There's no over-abuse of power weapons. There's intense team fire. The hallways are great. There's awesome shotgun fights in the rooms. But when it comes down to this like vehicle, which is really fun, and I love the viewership about it, and I think it's great if it was, you know, ready for a competitive play. But the fact that it could be abused this way, and we're relying on one referee to watch all 8 monitors to see it. So say he sees it, you know, say he just said it happened. Like, who's to say that this person didn't intentionally get out of the silverback, that they knew that there was a smoke around? Like,
well,
Rob, that's my argument. And the thing about it is, and I think to avoid the most conflict, because this map is awesome, is we just disable the vehicle completely and we play the map. If the glitches was fixed, you know, I think the silverback is fun, and I would love to see it played, and I think everybody agrees with that. But the fact that there's this, you know, variable thrown in that we can't dictate if it happened or not, we're gonna be causing these arguments on LAN where we're all together, where people are watching online. It's gonna cause all these discrepancies, and I don't think I'm overreacting in saying that.
Can I just ask something? How much value? You know, this isn't, you know, this is a question. How much value do you guys think keeping the silverback in terms of the commercial, or you know, the spectator, the viewers? How much value do you think it's going to add from having the silverback?
Here's the thing. I'll word it like this, and I'm in the same boat as Rob. Like, I played in the silverback. It was actually the scrim that we've had against Rebirth, and that's when it kind of got out of hand because everyone saw Skyless, and then Crream's chat blew up. But I hopped into the silverback next, and I had 6 smokes thrown at me, and I dodged all of them. All of them. So it was out and out and out and out and for each one. And during that span, we started ripping it up, and I was getting a lot of kills with the silverback. So I don't feel like it's something that needs to be in the game because it's just so abusive. Once you get in that thing, you can really change the pace of the game if you know what you're doing with it. So in that regard, I think it's kind of hesitant now. Or hesitant to, you know, have it in there. But here's the thing. Rustlung is such a great map. Even without the silverback, if you're getting your ass beat on that map without the silverback, you're going to lose because it's in your face action. It's nonstop. That's an exciting map, period, with or without the silverback. So I think the value of the silverback, to answer Loco's question, is minimal. I mean, yeah, you get some cool kills. Some people might say, wow, but the bottom line is you have to clutch kills, you have to get a lot of shotgun kills, and that's what people like to see. They like to see the shotgun and like to see bodies flying all over the place. So I think the value of it is not that high, and I think that we could ban it and not have people press the button.
I have to agree, honestly. Unless this is going to be, well, I don't want to offend anyone, but if it's really going to be the difference between 1,000 viewers, you know, is this going to be the difference between some kind of, you know, promotional opportunity? Then keep the map, but forget about the weapon.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I know I've just been getting into commentating again, like pretty much the past 4 or 5 days. I've been doing scrims, and I've only seen it happen once, and that was in KL's scrim against Rebirth. And like all the other times, I mean, the one time I did see it, it was like blatant hopping out, hopping back in, like not even accidental. Like just hopped right out to dodge it and hopped right back in, knowing it's gonna happen. And I don't know, I just don't think it's gonna happen like on accident, like a lot at all. I don't know. Like, it needs to be tested more. That's the thing. That's why I wanted to push this ages ago, and like it took forever to convince people. But
To
you
actually
know,
play the map.
yeah,
Right.
I know that. That's why this stuff has to be tested right off the bat. It's another example for you guys. If we would have been playing Rustling right off the bat, this would have happened like 2 weeks ago. Not now. Not 2 weeks before. A month before. So we would have
I
been
mean,
able to tackle it.
if this map wasn't streamed at NJ Halo and we didn't bite the bullet and played that game and showed everybody how exciting this map was, because I knew this map was awesome. I knew it would be sick, and I wanted the Silverback to be played. And I didn't know about the glitch until yesterday. I didn't know about the glitch until this weekend when we were scrimming and we saw it happen. And like I said, my argument is that it's just not going to be able to be dictated. And now looking at Hyphaestation posted each round, winners, losers, Russell and King of the Hill is going to be played like so much. Like there's a King of the Hill in every cycle. There's a King of the Hill. There's only 3 King of the Hill maps, so that means you're going to see Russell and King of the Hill once every 3 games. Now, you have to be lying to me that there's not going to be an argument about this out of how many, like, there's going to be, probably 20 King of the Hill Rustlings played. And that's just not something that anybody wants to worry about when there's money on the line. And that's my biggest thing. Like, we're talking about prize money. Like, we're talking about the whole reason I sit down at night to compete is because there's money for this game. Like, I love playing this game, but if there wasn't, if it wasn't there, I wouldn't be putting in so much time. And to have, like, a variable like that where I have to rely on a referee or an accident for something in this game that we've been competing in, we know it works without it. And, like, I hope Pete and Quinn and you guys, and thank you guys for supporting and tuning in to shows like this. I hope it gets fixed because I want that vehicle to be played. Like, I think it's fun.
Well, Pete actually submitted to QA after our match yesterday or day before, whenever it was. So they didn't know about it. Nobody knew about it, obviously, because it's not one. Here's one thing I want to add to that. If Pete is watching, the competitive guys, like I said about this little MLG committee where they do testing, the competitive guys found it before anybody else. I just want to point that out, Pete.
We did, yeah. You said that last week, right?
The first guy that found it was J-Ribs, NJ Halo. He was the first guy to get in there, jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out. Like I said, I had a real nice seat right behind the guy, and it just didn't make sense to me because I knew that the Silverback, should be getting disabled kind of thing. So jump in, kite, kill, jump in, or, jump out. Jump in, kite, kill, jump out.
We played those finals, right? 2 of my teammates never played Rustlong before. But that's okay. I still pushed to play the map because I knew it would be cool, and I knew we had 1,000+ people in the stream. I said, it doesn't matter. Let's just play it. This map is good. I want to see people watch it. Okay. Whatever the fact is, maybe J-Ribs was jumping in and out. Regardless, we lost. It didn't matter if we won or lost. Like, they deserved that game because, we should have played more games. I don't care if that's how he won. It doesn't matter. I'm glad that everybody saw how Rustlong played out because that was cool. But the fact of the matter is, like, we don't want to repay to that, especially now that this has surfaced. You know what I mean? Like, we still have Hotel as another map.
I just don't.
Is there a reason that there's four maps not in this?
Listen, we've covered this the past 2 weeks, so we don't know why there's 8 Execution and 3 King of the Hill. Why was there a vote between 3 maps for King of the Hill when you could just have all 3 of those maps for King of the Hill? It just doesn't make sense.
So is the consensus that we need 11 maps?
Yes, that's what KC has told us they want.
Discussion, but I think we should add a King of the Hill, which would be Hotel, and we should slice either Dry Dock or Mercy.
I think they both should be sliced, to be honest.
Okay, now listen, before we start talking about slicing maps, etc., we have more maps, we have more downloadable content getting ready to come out, so I mean, what does that mean? Like, with new title updates, with new hill fixes, etc., I mean, is the game going to evolve, and are we going to slice off something that will be fixed in the future? Or potentially fixed in the future?
Well, from what I understand, and Pete said this last week when I asked him, was it possible to cut out hills for some maps, because I think from a design standpoint, I love Thrashball. I think it's probably could be one of the best King of the Hill maps. I've said that multiple times. And the only thing keeping that map from being outstanding is the back hill over in concessions up top. And if it obviously won't be in this title update, so we're looking maybe 3 months from now. If those things are fixed on certain maps, you're looking at what, maybe 2 or 3 more King maps that could be better. And then, TDM, we don't really know how that can change in order to be better. You know, I've always mentioned adding some wingman spawns, possibly, but I think King of the Hill is going to look really interesting in a couple of months as far as balancing it out. I mean, we might even be able to get a 6-6 split between Execution and King 3 months out from now. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that'd be
excited.
ideal. Yeah.
Yeah, I always loved Thrash Ball. I thought, honestly, one thing that would make Thrash Ball even better, I thought, you know, this was way back when they said they were going to fix Thrash Ball in trenches, was to eliminate that little blockage to go up the side to mortar in the middle, because then you couldn't just sit there for days on that little ledge, and they wouldn't have to go all the way up and around. So, you know, then if a team held up top, they couldn't really hold up top like they do now, because you'd be able to go right up through the middle. And I thought that would have completely fixed Thrash Ball. I thought that was what they did. But, I mean, it still worked what they did, but I wish that got taken out, those little block chairs that are just in the way that you can't run up.
Yeah, that would have made it a little bit better. I agree. But since we're still on the topic of Hypefestation and stuff, one of the big things, and Kenny, you don't mind if I just lead into this, because this is the one I really wanted to talk about, was the Hypefestation seeding. This is how I ordered it, too. Fiasco. It is just an absolute mess with the seating in terms of, first off, this is my biggest thing with it, is not necessarily the seating as it is now, but the way it was presented was just horrific. It was like one of those botched media presses that you guys always read about in like some weird tech or whatever scene, and they talk about it on the news all the time. Like, they could have handled it so many different ways, but they're like, okay, here are the seeds, a week before, 2 weeks before the event, and none of them make sense to anyone except the people that are running the event. Now, Caesar has said on multiple times that this was discussed prior to the first Hypefestation, but because it was not communicated in the proper way, word of mouth doesn't really work all the time, it just didn't make sense to anyone involved. So for me personally, I think I would have preferred that they, announced it almost immediately after Hype 1. You know how MLG always slacks on announcements? Like, if Hype wants to be better or the Premier Gear thing, one of the things I feel like they need to get faster is information flow. They need to get the flow of information out as quickly as possible, because I know, just like everyone else, I hate waiting until the last minute to know when I need to be somewhere, what the rules are, how I need to prepare. It's just not proper tournament organization. So from that standpoint, I think they absolutely did a horrific job presenting this information to everyone. And Caesar did the right thing in saving face, and he posted on the Gal Nation forums, kind of like filling people in, trying to be as transparent as possible. But I just feel like it's too little, too late.
Well, when you come down, for the players, by the players, you know, Hypefestation, you know, easily growing into the big deal, you know, the big show.
Right.
It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. You know, for the player, by the player. Obviously, the mistake was seen. The apology has been put out. You know, and the rules and specifications have been, you know, thoroughly explained after, you know, the incident already occurred. So hopefully, you know, like I said, you know, it is a community thing, you know, and everybody knows each other, you know, everybody's tight knit. So I mean, you just swallow it, and I guess we kind of just go ahead and move on from there. You know, now that we know. So I mean, mistakes been made, the lessons been learned, and the only thing we can look forward, you know, is a better showing of Hype 3. Now, as to why we didn't do a live bracket show, I'm not too sure. I thought that it was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
thought it was great. I really did. It had some really good flavor to it.
I have a question. I don't know if it's been announced yet, and this is like my team kind of fell victim to Friday being the start day for the tournament. We kind of just requested our days off for that day as well. We weren't sure about that. Does anyone know like a start time where we need to be there, where people are ready to kind of tune in? Like, do we know?
Again, this is one of those things I'm touching on with the presentation of information. So,
yeah,
you know, we didn't know. We were trying to prepare flights about 3 weeks ago, or about a week ago. So it's 3 weeks out from the event, and we didn't know if we needed to be there in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, in the evening. I didn't know how they were doing it. So I actually had to tweet out to Vicious and CDN. I had to reach out to them to find out some general time, and Vicious actually got back to me and said that check-in is at 3 p.m. and they want to get matches started by 5 p.m. And that was the first I had ever heard of it. So that's just kind of the things that it's like, well, that information needs to be on the website so people can check that out
like
and
front and
keep
center.
saying it around and spread the word versus, me having to prod you for it and then getting the information and then saying, okay, I need to get the flights before this time so I can get ready. So that's one of the things that I think MLG just gets on my nerves about with their announcements is that some of them are so bad, so late. Like, for instance, 2010, they didn't make the announcement for games until March 3rd, I believe, or March 2nd. And everyone was expecting it in January, then February rolled by. Then on March 3rd, they were like, okay, Gears is not going to be on the circuit. Oh, okay, thanks. All right, sweet. So I don't want that. I don't like that. I don't want that repeat with Hypefestation. Give us the information as fast as possible. Have everything planned out way in advance and get on the ball with it. And that's just period. End of discussion for me. Like there's no other excuse that you can make for not being prepared in terms of information flow.
Yeah, I mean it's just a learning experience, and I'm definitely not knocking the guys behind. Everybody appreciates.
Yeah,
for
I
Barbosa and
love
Murray
that they're
too.
doing
You guys, thank you all so much. You guys need to well deserved. But I mean, from moving forward, lesson learned, and we just everybody needs to be aware of this, and just for the better. I mean, like Charlie said, for the player, by the player, and we're all kind of in this together. So it's all good. Now the word's out, and I think we all have enough time to affix our schedules accordingly.
And
so
originally, all that stuff, I mean, from my understanding, and this is what I had heard about, we got guys getting in there on Thursday, we got guys getting in there on Friday, just to try to get those team shoots out of the way, because there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than yo, what's up, guys, high five, let's show up and play kind of thing, so
yeah, absolutely.
To try to accurately put on an amazing show. There's just a little bit more that goes on, but you are right. Lack of information, and the apologies have been put out, and it'll all be fixed. And coming up on the 20th, it's gonna be one bad MFer. I promise you.
Yeah,
that.
and if anybody wasn't there watching Hype One live, I mean you can absolutely go to the Twitch Beyond Gaming channel and watch some of the matches. But I did a Timeout with Raw Talent little episode behind the scenes. You can find on my YouTube /ImmortalSpawn. Just a little commentary with some live footage of the guys competing, and also some of the player shoots and stuff.
Just out of curiosity, is it the same production team that was at the last Hypefestation? Because some of those intros that you guys did were amazing. Honestly, to add value to the kind of stream, that's the way to do it. It's such a simple thing to do.
It is.
And yeah, the entertainment factor of it is amazing. Yeah,
it was awesome.
It is going to be the same production team, and I also believe with the pickup of Duke Skills. So he's getting ready to lay down the Mac Daddy skills that he's got, and he's going to be bringing a different flavor and experience to the Hype.
Duke
Have
Skills.
you guys considered doing?
He's the man that made this all happen.
Yeah.
Have you guys not considered doing anything like pre and post event, like media outlet, media content, interviews, pre-tournament hype? Because the website at the minute it's just like a page for information. It looks nice, it's great. Nothing really comes out of it other than an update every other month. What have you not got a little team who you can write and promote and talk about teams?
Right now, for the way I'm handling it is I'm just trying to build the word through my own channels, and I think that because it's community driven, I think that's kind of everyone's approach right now. But I think there's some people in the community that could really help with that in terms of getting it out a little bit. Better having, interviews or content afterward, follow up. And I know some people that have, I think it's, what is it, Sam McDonald? Is that his name?
Oh, Switchback, yeah.
Yeah, he's seems like he's expressed some interest in doing some stuff with Gears. So
the guy's
I think
MLG and SK Gaming. So honestly, these kind of people we need, and he's experienced in also producing content, at a fast rate, and really, quality is important. But I think what we need to start off with, not just in Europe, but particularly in America as well, is not just having the best quality of content. Let's just start with getting content. Full stop. before we start worrying about little things that could might or might not be wrong with it, because there's just nothing right now on any forum, on any hub. There's just nothing. So no talk, team interviews, no videos, simple things that can be drafted up within 30 minutes.
Charlie, get on it.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the beauty of the active reload here. You know what I'm saying? You guys just fucking hit the right bumper on me twice, you know? Yeah. Exactly.
That's why you ask people like Switchback, like me. We'll get the content out for you, and it'll be good. It'll read well. It might not contain all the information that you want to read or people want to read, but at least start. And then, together we can work on producing what the community actually want to read in the medium to long term eventually.
Cool.
Okay.
I linked
Sounds
up that behind-the-scenes video you guys could check out after the show.
Oh, is that when you made all the intros for the teams and all that?
Yeah, there's some of the outtakes on there, and
Yeah.
pretty
You told
funny
me
stuff.
about that.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Maybe we'll put that up on next week's show.
Oh, we can, yeah, definitely. I want to talk about next is, I know some of you guys heard about it, maybe not all, the whole Envious picking up Murder by Numbers. Because I know it's a little odd because Envious is Call of Duty. That's it.
Yeah.
They
Call
are
of Duty.
Call of Duty. So what's the
Anything
deal?
Call of Duty.
Are they growing? Are they becoming just the monsters of the gaming organizations?
I mean, yeah, they're trying.
The pay to play people, or what?
Yeah, I mean, knowing Hastro, he's just trying to, conquer every market there is. I mean, he pretty much has a stranglehold on Call of Duty with Envious. He's got everybody in there and just moving the gears. So I don't know.
Envious Optic is killing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to see what they can do. I mean, what was it, a few days ago, they pretty much boosted Nick's stream to 500 viewers just like that. And it's awesome. I just, I want to see if they just push gears in general and not just, Murder by Numbers.
Right, and that was going to be my next statement. So what's up? So EON picks up Murder by Numbers. Is that the right play? I mean, is that something you do stepping into a new console game? I mean, obviously with Nick Merckx and Murder by Numbers' proven track record, they're a pretty solid squad. But I mean, do you jump in that early to as to say, you are now a paid player. It's time to step up the game. Without seeing more completely proven results in Gears 3?
It's iffy. I mean, I just, I feel like if MBN doesn't even get top 4, that Fallout's gone. Like, he's gone. He's going to be the scapegoat if they don't do good. I know it.
I mean, that's another issue that I just have with the community in general, and I'll just publicly say it, man. I wish you teams would stay together.
Yeah, right.
That's it. I really
I mean, come on. Like, my team did the worst at Hype, hands down. We fucking sucked. I know it. We didn't even win a map. I mean, our best matches against MVN. We came close on the 3 maps. We still got 3-0'd, and we stayed together. And like every other team split up, and I couldn't believe it.
It's guys. It's not just about results. It's about marketability of a team. Who's more marketable?
That's what I'm saying, Loco. Thank you. I mean, that's what it's about. You market the team. You market the players. You have the same guys, the same faces, and it works well. It's like It's hard to take it seriously when there's new faces on these teams all the time, and it's branding, and that's what it comes down to, and it just, I don't know, it really irks me. Like, just find those guys that you can have, I don't know, just have love for, no homo, and just like stick it out with them. Like, this game is about losing together in order to win together. It's about practice and repetition. Don't take your scrimmages so seriously. Lose every freaking game and go back to the drawing board and look at it and just progress from that. Like, this is the type of game that you need to lose together. Like, you need to understand what you did wrong. You need to realize that. And honestly, I can't stress that enough. Like, don't take scrims to heart. Like, lose together, have fun, and stick it out. You'll be better than trying to build a dream team.
Yep. Rob hit every single point possible. The marketing aspect, the practice repetition, and the biggest one, I can't stress enough, do not go into a scrimmage trying to win the scrimmage. You go into a scrimmage trying to get better, trying to improve, trying to get repetition. And that is just one of the biggest faults that I have ever seen in gaming in terms of teams practicing, is that at least as far as I can remember, teams have gone in with the mindset that winning scrimmages is the end-all, be-all of competitive gaming, and it's just not. I mean, it's a scrimmage. You go and get practice.
Who you're talking about here? arCtyC? Because how can we expect newcomers, are we talking about the professionals, the veterans, or are we talking about everyone? Because there is no way anyone in hell can expect the newcomers, this is just an unfortunate truth, no one can expect the newcomers to stick together the first team they make. It's just not going to happen like that at the end of the day.
I'm specifically speaking to veterans of the game that have been playing. I'm like the top 32 teams. You talk about the semi-pros, the teams that always flop faces in and out and switch to top 8 teams. I'm talking more in terms of making your team marketable, not worrying about if you're winning a scrimmage, if you're having an off night, and then being mad and blaming people. That's more of what I'm talking about. On the whole, though, when you talk about new players, and this is one of the things that I've talked about on another episode, they don't really have a place to go. So what they look at is what other people are doing. So if the top teams are all switching around, then they think, okay, that's just the process. Even when they start off new, they're like, okay, that team didn't work. They're on their second team, that team didn't work. Third team, that team didn't work. Well, what are the pro teams doing? Oh, they're still flopping all around. So that must be what you need to do all the way up until you get pro status. You just flop teams all the time.
Yeah,
that's
well,
what I'm
constantly jump in the next bigger picture.
Yeah, well, I want your opinion on something. There's a different culture in Europe, and this isn't just for Gears of War, this is for games in general. There's a culture of organizations. An organization, you guys know exactly what it is. Typically, they have their sponsors, and therefore they fund people to go to events. You know exactly what I'm talking about, but they have contracts. Now, I'm not saying that contracts in gaming have a track record of stopping team changes. They don't, but they're a start. And the culture of organizations in America, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems it's to an extent it's a lot less than in Europe. Are less organizations willing to support Gears of War or console gaming in general? Are people not approaching their organizations, or what? It's just are people not interested?
I don't think people are educated enough on the process. If you think about some of the biggest organizations in gaming, they're all out of the state. I mean, and the ones that we had in the U.S. are either no longer relevant or no longer playing. So the ones that come to my mind, you have like Check 6, Complexity, 3D, not even a team really anymore.
Evil Geniuses.
And those are like the biggest
MOB.
Kind of.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you got VVV, and I don't know their structure, but there's not that many top U.S. teams as opposed to the rest of the world. So that whole concept of contracts and knowing who to approach, how to approach it is just foreign to a lot of players over here versus in Europe and Asia and things of that nature. So I think we're a ways away from that, to be honest.
It's weird, because American console gaming is so leaps and bounds ahead of everywhere else, and yet in this particular aspect, it's so premature. I mean, let me ask you a question. Do you think that with an American squad, what would they be happy with from an organization? Would they be happy with a team ticket, or would they also want flights, or would they want food and whatever else? What would be content for a start?
I want it all.
Yeah.
But you say see, this is the answer that I was hoping you wouldn't say. Because you got to start somewhere. Some people in Europe are happy, to be giving 10 quid each just to pay for some food at an event, and then they prove themselves and they get more. But if you guys are having issues or problems contacting or speaking to organizations, as you know, it's a bigger culture, a bigger community like that in Europe. So this is where another aspect where Europe and America can work together. A lot of the teams in Europe have 2 teams for one game. Why? Why can't they have one team in Europe, one team in America, but on the basis that you guys don't ask for too much, but it's actually very possible?
I think we're hitting on some things that are just American way-ish. I think, quite frankly, and I might be generalizing a little bit too much, but I think as a whole, Americans want a lot more because we're used to a lot more, so they expect it.
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of the teams that start off, they talk big, they expect it, and then they get shot down, or they don't do well or whatever, and then they fall apart. And then some of the guys are just loud. I don't know. I think the whole culture outside of gaming, the American society culture as a whole is just different in that respect. So when you approach a sponsor, they're expecting bells and whistles, and you're looking at them like, how much do you want? What can you offer? But you have a Game Battles team, That's it. You don't have a website. You don't have YouTube channel. You don't have anything remote. You're joking, right? And that's I just think that's the mindset, and they just don't know the proper ways to go about it, or how much value they have.
Hey, not to jump on a beat a dead horse, but I mean when we go back to you're talking about contracts, etc. VVV Gaming, they just got done dropping Leon. No more than a week ago, I talked to a buddy of mine. He said, hey, we picked up Rain, and then 2 days later they're banging with Base Soldier kind of thing. Now coming through VVV Gaming, isn't that a contracted organization? Isn't that a pay to play player?
So are you saying that this was VVV contracted Rain, and then it was VVV's choice to drop Rain? Is that what you're saying?
No, it was Leon, Monk, Vicious, and Anonymity, and then I guess they drop Leon. They pick up Rain. 2 days later, they're banging with Base Soldier. So I guess holding down that VVV title for however many months it is, or however long they've been a squad kind of thing. You figure they'd be under contract. How easy is that to just kind of break that and just move on and be like, okay, we're gonna wash our hands clean up to sign up a new guy.
This is the thing about gaming. I mean, yeah, as I said to you, this is the first point I said. Contracts, unfortunately, right now are not the be all and end all, because the return on investment that an organization makes to a player is not enough to justify the hassle of actually pursuing a contract. At the same time, what a player gets from an organization, if they get dropped from it, it's not worth their time, energy, money, whatever resources to then go and pursue that contract in reverse. This is a problem with contracts. However, I do actually think that they should be enforced. But yeah, you are right. In reality, they're so fickle.
Yep.
I could talk on this particular topic. I wanted to save this for like a later time talking about.
We can go more in depth.
Yeah, this is just one of those topics that really hits home, because I feel like so many people, gamers as a whole, when they approach sponsorships, or sponsors, and they want sponsorships, they just don't know at all how to go about it.
This is up to people like, honestly, I don't want to say this is all on you, arCtyC. This is up to people like you, Crream, anyone who's vocal, anyone who's heads of the community, to start educating people that you cannot just go to an organization and expect something for nothing. You have to have your YouTube channels and your Twitters and your Facebooks. You have to show them why you can, as an individual, and anyone on the stream, just as a little piece of advice, if you want to sponsor, you want an organization that has sponsors who can fund you, you have to have a reason. Not just necessarily, skill and performance is more likely, it's going to be 80% of the factor. But the remaining 20%, the people like JT Bravo who don't play and yet are still getting something, why do they want him? Because they can promote their brand, their products, their services. So you got to consider this when you're approaching a sponsorship. Don't expect something for nothing. Think about what you can give them before even asking in your proposal about what they can give you, please.
That's another thing, just why having those same guys, is meaningful for sponsorship. I mean, are they branding the team, or are they branding 4 people? One guy leaves, what happens? It's
it's
just annoying. It's much more easier to promote a StarCraft 2 player, or somebody doing an individual thing, because you're picking up the individual, and that's that. It's hard to pick up individual players in a team game, and we've seen it done in Halo, and it has been done, but.
We've seen it done with MLG. MLG have experimented with every kind. They've done the individual players. They've done the teams. Teams haven't. I mean, MLG teams. You'd think they have the ultimate contract in place. They're a professional marketed team by MLG itself, which is a huge brand in gaming. And yet, teams, players, they constantly split up. So MLG have gone down the route of sponsoring individual players. This is why StarCraft is actually quite lucrative in that respect. Oh, obviously because it's a bigger game, but also because you're sponsoring an individual player.
Yep.
All right.
Anything else you guys want to add on to it? Or?
I'm
We're
not
playing the wrong game.
Later episode.
KL doesn't want to go too into it right now.
Nope.
I mean, are we coming to a close? Because there was one more thing I wanted to pick up on.
I would think we got a little bit more. Are we going to go ahead and debut that map?
If you want, I could try. Where do I have that link? I know.
What map?
The Academy flyby.
I wanted to see the slab.
The slab? I think.
What do you have,
Pete,
screenshots or some
Pete
gameplay?
had tweeted out. I could have sworn Pete had tweeted out. Pete, if you're still in here, I could have sworn you tweeted out a flyby of Anvil Gate, and that's what I saw. and him and Quinn had said it's like Jacinto size, so it's not too big. And I saw it, and it looked really good. He did.
Skyless says there is an Anvil flyby now.
Yeah, Anvil
Oh,
flyby. I tried finding it again. I could not find it. If you could please tweet put it in here so I can like bring it up and show everyone. Here we go.
There's the link.
Boom.
Right there.
Academy and Anvil.
Yeah, the Anvil looked really good.
Oh, you linked in the chat.
Yeah, Anvil looked like spot on. I loved the way it looked.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this right now.
Hold on, let me pause it.
Are you gonna play it on stream? Because I'll just watch it there.
Yep. All right, guys. So without further ado, Anvil and Academy flybys, if there's both of them, but if not, Anvil. So enjoy it. This is what we're getting ready to
Ooh.
peep out here with the new DLC.
All grayed out. It's gonna be delayed if I watch it when you watch it. Damn it. There you go. Damn, get some music or something? Maybe we should get some commentary?
I mean, I just like how it looks. It's clean. I don't know.
We got the fan.
So we got a top corridor.
Yeah.
What's that called? What's it say up there? It's the name of the building.
Now, KL, I know you're looking at this map right now and you're like, God damn, this thing is absolutely huge. I mean, I know we're looking at maps like this and this is Gears of War, but I mean, are we staring at the future of you know, how multiplayer games are going to be being made, you know, via these huge, intricate, gorgeous maps and you know, just crazy multiplayer.
Skyless and I had a discussion on this, and we think the reasoning behind a lot of bigger maps is for Team Deathmatch. To alleviate some of that spawn trapping. Team Deathmatch is the most popular game type, hands down. So I think a lot of these bigger maps are playing towards Team Deathmatch. So that's why I'm more interested in maps like Slab, because it's smaller, and we're 4v4, not 5v5, so it
Yeah,
makes
I've
sense
always
for us.
liked smaller maps too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had the opportunity to turn that, I mean, if you could say, boom, we're going to make this 5v5, this is how the competitive game is going to be played, you know, and an additional 2 boxes are going to be thrown on every station, do you do it?
No.
It's not even that. You got to think about split screen.
Well, split screen is round 1, but spectator. Can't lose spectator. At
Oh,
that
yeah,
time.
that too. Yeah, of
5v5
course.
is just not going to work on LAN. I mean, if we were playing on PCs or something like that, but I don't know. You know, Counter-Strike's still 5v5, successfully run tournaments, but
Well, that's PC. I mean, all that stuff's
like I
already
said,
there,
yeah,
you know.
it has nothing to do with
I don't think
but
it's not culturally, you know, as a community, it's just not ready yet because it's bad enough one person dropping out of a team in a 4v4. One person drops out of a team in a 5v5, it just turns to mayhem.
Quinn asked, where has it been stated that Slab is smaller? I'm not going by where it was stated. I'm going by based on the description. If you read the description of it, it seems like the corridors are tight. It seems like the combat would be kind of intense. So I interpreted it that way.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I just think we need more maps. I mean, there's even a few execution maps we have right now that we're trying to use, and I'm not even a fan of them. You know, even if we had to pick 6, there's still like 1 or 2 that I'm like, I mean, it works, but it can be way better.
I mean, I know we were just talking about the map cuts and kind of even out the KOTH and the EXEC, but, you know, why? Like, why aren't we doing it? Like, we have 2 weeks before this event. It's going to be a big showing. If we know that it's an issue, like, why not make a change now?
It's, you know, it's, I don't know, it's not our tournament. It's all up to, you know, Caesar, Vish, Barbosa, that's all them.
I understand, but I feel like our voice is important to them too, and I think everybody would pretty much agree that adding another King of the Hill map and removing an execution map that pretty much
Get rid of dry dock.
the majority
Yes,
of people
I've been
don't
saying
like
that since the game came out. Please, I hate it. I remember.
I agree.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, we have it as King of the Hill, so it's not like we're losing the map. You know,
And it's a
cool
blast,
map,
King of the Hill.
Oh, it's the best.
I'm
Great.
kind of in
It's the
agreement.
King of the Hill. But
Yeah.
dry dock, execution, Mercy execution just are not entertaining. Like, I've seen like Mercy can be fun if you got both teams going 4-4 inside the church and banging out just like that, and that's a quick map.
Mhm.
And then I've also seen Mercy play out for like 15 to 20 minutes.
King
man.
of the Couch when
and
we
you
did
can
it.
make all the raw talent jokes you want on that one, but seriously, that map seriously can play out that way because it's set up like Gridlock in the sense that it's a linear map and it's just all the maps are linear, but there's just no like progression as far as where the fights are going to be and stuff like that. I mean, you can push guys around a little bit, but it's so open that people are afraid to move sometimes.
And it's super lopsided. Just coming from COG to Loco spawn too. I mean, there's a real dangerous element to that whole swaps.
But yeah, more so dry dock for me because I don't know, it's just not very fun. It's okay. It's just okay to me.
It's not fun at all. I don't even find it okay. It's
you know what? Okay, so listen, we have this new DLC coming out, right? Obviously, we've been using we've already experienced new DLC maps and introduced them into competitive play. When this drops and it changes the entire way that the game's played, once again, do these maps get picked up and do we say this is how it's going to be? Let's give it a go. Let's try this again.
Definitely.
If it works, yeah, of course.
Definitely.
Perfect.
I think that's one of the things that I took away from Halo is that whether it be some user-created map or just a new map that the devs create, you have to keep that fresh spin on the game. So from a viewer standpoint, people aren't like, well, where's this map? Where's this map? Why isn't this map played? I thought this was a good map. And when you throw those in, they're like, oh, they switched it up a little bit. And not only that, it also keeps the teams on their toes, so they have to constantly keep trying to improve and stay up on their game, stay up to date with everyone else, and not be playing a game that's older, so to speak, than what the rest of the community is playing.
Well,
Yeah.
I think traditionally in Halo, though, actually, they don't like pace play DLC. They didn't do that at tournaments, as far as I'm concerned. Only the disc, which came out afterwards. Yeah.
Right.
With Gears, the host, as long as the host has it, everyone else can play in it. And everyone else is going to have a DLC at the same time. There's an opportunity here for us to actually incorporate it regardless.
Right. And I think this
one
is
of the,
really cool. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
I don't want to take it off track, so you finish.
I think it's really cool. Just due to the fact that it's going to prolong the game's dexterity. It's just going to keep things healthy and fresh, which I think is a really nice step in the right direction, considering that Gal 1, Gal 2 DLC wasn't used. And the hazardous environments, etc. Making that transition in the Gal 2 when Avalanche came out, and now moving into Gal 3. I think it's really good. It's healthy. It's fun.
Exactly. Not only Avalanche, but like security. It had the lasers, and that like that extra element in the game where we have these environmental effects. I just think it's so entertaining. You have Thrash Ball with the sign. You have the Dust Bowl in trenches. Like that, when that happens, like on trenches, I mean, your strategy changes. You're like, okay, we have this element. We have to switch it up. Like that's so unique compared to any other shooter, among other things that Gears of War has. But I just think it's really entertaining. So, if the devs are watching, like, do more of that stuff because we really like playing those things. I think it's awesome. Silverback, obviously another one, and that's great. And when we get that, all cleaned up, I'll appreciate that one too.
Yeah,
So, with that said, Rob, do you think Bullet Marsh is a very good map?
Oh, okay. So
that.
I honestly haven't put enough time into Bullet Marsh. Like the only time I really played it was like public matches, warming up, and King of the Hills. But my thing is like, you win the fight and you can't get inside the circle because there's krill there. Like that's not very rewarding. Like that just frustrates the shit out of me. And I don't know. Maybe you can with like 4 players. You could hop in. I don't know. I didn't test it like that. But I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Like I don't have enough play time where I can really give my opinion. But what just the simple fact of the matter is like that environmental effect when you should be rewarded after killing somebody, that bothers me. Like that's not fair. That's not good competition.
I was a personal fan of Bullet Marsh. I think it was pretty good, but yeah, you're right. I mean, with the krill definitely changed the element of the game, and especially with the first hill. I mean, you either win it or you lose it, or you send a krill down and just go ahead and move on with the 4v4 execution until the next hill comes up, basically.
I see some troll in the chat. Escalation TDM.
Yeah, people.
I'm all about it.
They're all trolling hard right now.
Escalation, no. But
You're
I
not
mean,
going to be excited to play it, honestly?
No.
Top snipers.
No.
I'll
that's
go
like
through
bringing
it,
back
man.
rooftops. Like I just don't
That
care.
was a wingman map for sure, dude. Escalation was a wingman map.
The Hammer of Dawn, God, you know, it's really proven.
I mean, when it
I
comes
want to
to
see it on wingman, dude. That's gonna be intense.
yeah, when it comes to the new maps, like I kind of wish Bull Marsh was tested a little because I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was terrible, but I didn't see enough of it, like at least between top teams. And you know, with the new DLC coming out, instead of waiting so long to give maps a chance, can we please, all you guys listening, try everything out? And if you find something wrong, just let everyone know, and then we won't have like these problems like we have now with the Silverback, finding out that there's a glitch.
You can't expect. Like, this is the thing. Now, this is an opportunity for us for testing, right? We can't just expect people just to try them out when they have no idea if they're going to be in competition. So what you do is you host more online tournaments where these maps become obligatory.
Yeah, you force people to play 'em.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't. You know, the prize doesn't have to be big. Just some good commentary. You know, commentary by some well-known commentators. Maybe a little prize at the end. But as long as the map's compulsory, that's going to be the best way to have them put in.
Yeah, and that's
Honestly, if you do find a glitch like that, don't tell anybody. Get your team in a ranked private room. Show them what's going on. Bring it to a tournament. Win $600.
well, bringing up
Yo, that's a personal stab right to infinity, huh?
No, you know, I'm joking because Charlie, the only thing I have to go by on that is what you said, so I'm not accusing anybody. That was a joke.
I know.
But you know what? The ink grenades in Gears 2, like same thing. Like what? That just came out of nowhere where inks were invisible. Like what the hell? Are they really doing that? What the hell? Like I'm dying. Oh, I'm dead. Nothing's near me. Like,
that was the worst.
you know, if you find a glitch and it's not banned, like seriously, exploit the hell out of it at an event. Like it's not banned. Just be quiet. Don't tell anybody. You know, go and show your teammates and go and do it. Like that's what. Then everybody knows. And then the map's banned.
Yeah.
I want to get back on topic of the whole tournaments force people to play. I am going to be starting a weekly tournament soon. It's going to be pretty much like every Saturday. I'm going to call it
Cream of the crop, right?
Cream of the crop. That's right.
Yeah.
Going to be every week. You know, it's similar if you've seen the 360 Icons. You know, weekly COD tournament. You know, it's going to be free entry, you know, small cash prize for first and, like, swag for second and third, you know, whatever we can.
That's amazing.
And, you know, just, you know, whoever wants to join, have fun, and I'm going to use it to do stuff like this because, you know, if people don't want to test it, I'm going to make you test it. That's just how it is.
You know, likewise, you know, we're going to be doing tournaments in Europe, and because of how, you know, it compares with other games, it's not like free, of course it's not, but it does a good job of the connections. So I'm going to be announcing a few tournaments, console gaming and European Gaming League. All the American people are going to be welcome. We'll do split hosting, you know, all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be plenty of tournaments. I think online tournaments really is something that we're missing right now, and it's going to be a really great way to, you know, generate activity within the community.
Speaking of which, here in the States, we need to start trying out ready-up servers for some of these tournaments. I think that would be a good way to kind of neutralize some of the online stuff for playing in tournaments. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, you can almost throw that out to the stream in general, right? You're talking about the Ready Up Down?
Ready Up servers, yeah.
Yeah, that's Nate's thing, right?
Yeah, Nathan Bacchus's little gig he's got going on. Just for everybody else that's out there, you know, Ready Up Down. This guy has a way that you could just pretty much go to a website, ask for an invite from a dedicated server. And you can control all your settings, everything right from the dashboard, right from your desktop, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
sit on your desktop and set everything up.
Yeah, and then I also hear that this gameplay can potentially be recorded as well.
Yeah, we haven't tested it since Nate first had it up, but he said he made some improvements after we gave him some feedback on it. So. I think you can record it now.
He's in the chat right now. He said it's always recorded.
It's always recorded.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's one of them really cool bonus things, and I mean with something like this, it almost turns tournaments into cloud gaming kinda. You know, it's interesting.
Yep. So I think that's also something that we should kind of look at a little bit more in depth here if we start doing a lot of online tournaments, which like Loco said, I think that's going to be a key factor in keeping the community thriving and getting bigger and stuff. So, ready up servers. Boom. Got your plug, Nate.
There you go, Nate.
Good job.
What do you guys think? I think we had a pretty good show, huh?
I like it. I mean, is there any last things you guys want to touch up on? It's been like an hour and 15. You know.
Let me see here.
I know you did tell me the...
Should pro status be awarded
Oh, here we go.
at Hypefestation? Or should some type of pro status be awarded?
Well, okay, let's look about what kind of value that pro status adds, okay? Pro status, top 8, okay, it doesn't matter what the number is, but it's important because not only does it add value to the pro people who become pro, it adds value to every other placement that's within it, 8 within 8 or 16 places near it, because it's more of an incentive, you know, to become pro. Look at Halo, top 16 is pro status, yet top 16 don't get money. Yet everyone who's making a champ bracket and even top 48 out of the 150 teams or so or whoever joins, they all want that pro status. They care more about pro status than they do about money initially. It's only when they get pro status they start caring about the money. So I think pro status, whether we look at it now in the future, it's definitely something that adds value in the player mindset. It's a mental thing.
It promotes people to jump in and stay. It promotes players to come back every event. Like, you have points, you keep building. It makes you not want to miss a tournament. But I feel like it's also very discouraging halfway through the season for certain players. And I don't really know the resolution for that. But, you have no points. You just have a few seeding points. It's the 4th event. It's kind of meaningless for you to compete. You can't really get there. So it's tough. Like, I wish there was some kind of resolution for that. But I know that, players have found that to be an issue before. Like, you're basically recruiting a player based on their seeding points, and that's not, like, ideally the right mindset when you're recruiting a teammate, and that annoys me. But that's just how the league is organized to be set up.
Yeah, I mean,
not talking Hypefestation. Obviously, I'm talking MLG. Which
MLG. Yeah.
I don't really know how else to do it. But
Coming right from Scott.
I'm just trying to think of it in terms of Hypefestation and how we could try to find like a resolution for that. I don't know.
So I saw a few people in the chat make a good point about, specifically more so about the first event than this one, but it was invite only. So how do you give pro status to teams that are specifically invited and say, well, you guys could have went to the online qualifier, but for these other guys that are invited, they have an automatic shot at pro. I don't know. Kind of.
It's not necessary right now. I don't think it's necessary right now. But it's getting bigger. It's something to we can look at it in the future. At the end of the day, it's not really a big deal right now.
Yeah, that first event was a showcase tournament. It was nice. It was obviously it was much more of a surprise to us how much attention it got. But everybody just wanted to get in there and start banging and getting back in the game, and we were all excited with Gears 3 dropping. So we invited all the boys that were going in on it before, and that's pretty much what happened. But now that we're starting to get into it being big and with all the hype that it got, we're gonna have to come up with something that is fair and makes sense.
I just think it's like Loco said and everybody else says pretty much. It's just too early in the stages of hype to be awarding pro status because the first 2 events are basically invite only. It's not really
basically
open.
It has to be an open. Exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be open.
Like in any sport, like in any other sport, tennis, golf, whatever. It has to be an open tournament where anyone can enter.
Yeah, to get pro status, everybody should be able to just go and compete. It can't be invite only because what if you just weren't able to make the online qualifiers? Now you can't compete at the event.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of complications. If there's 2 players left on the team, like it's really difficult. So I think Hype 2 should be treated as another exhibition event. 16 invite teams got there this time, and it's just going to be bigger and better than the last one, and that's how I think we should treat it.
Cool. Yeah,
that's just me
good.
talking.
I'm glad it got that kind of recognition or whatever. At least that kind of talk of or something good to talk about.
All right.
I got one last little minor topic I want to ask you guys about, and it's relating to competitive in the sense that it's alpha. But I sent this to Kenny as a topic. Do you guys feel that alpha is relevant?
Relevant to
competitive gaming right now, competitive gears.
I think,
yes.
Yeah. Of all the playlists, that is the competitive playlist, I think, because, if I hop in alpha, I see pretty much majority of people I know compete at MLG events and hype and all this, and I don't know, it has the settings for competitive setup. The Lancer, Nasher starting weapon, you got your sawed-off retro and all that as pickups, which I think works. I don't think it's a big deal, but we haven't really seen it abused, I guess. A bunch of people just grabbing retros and hammer bursts and seeing what happens.
Right.
I haven't really been torn up, by retros and hammerburst. I do love picking up that sawed-off shotgun as a power weapon. I truly do. I love it.
It's
I
awesome.
absolutely think it's great as a power weapon. I think it's outstanding, especially on maps like Clock Tower. It's such a good crowd control item. When you're trying to hold the stairs or on trenches. But going back to the original question, yes. The guys that are playing in Alpha, I'm almost positive, I'm almost certain to say you turn Alpha on right now, there's 239 people playing, and out of those 239 people, those guys are all over GB. They know who everybody is.
You can assume they have a headset on. You can assume it's going to be that type of game. And you better go in there with a full group.
Yeah, not even so much. I solo queue the shit out of Alpha, so that's why I'm saying I'm seeing, the same repetitive gamer tags, the same guys that are in on the competitive gaming scene, or that know about what's going on in the competitive gaming scene. They're with it. They know what's up with it for sure.
One of the reasons I kind of asked this is specifically because I knew Loco was going to be on. Alpha seems like it's only relevant here because
yes,
from what I understand and what I've gathered from YouTube and different people around the world that have posted comments and stuff, a lot of the other playlists are dead except for TDM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a problem. Online playlists. Look, I mean, for me, in my opinion, the ultimate thing would be to have a ranking system within Alpha. Because just like on Halo, not on the Reach, but on Halo 3, that actually added a lot to it because everyone wanted that little number next to their name. But next best possible solution, I'm not so sure. Is it can we promote it better to Game Battles players? But why? What is a reason for them to play Alpha when it's not even? It has to be for one the guaranteed rule set that the other competitions and tournaments are playing. Otherwise, they're just playing another playlist.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I think we really need to put our heads together to see how we can help, not just Alpha in general in the US, because 239 players is a start, but it's not, it's not good enough. We need more people playing Alpha.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's all.
Agreed.
I got.
I was struggling to find a game last night. Around like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. The Europeans, finally start making their transition on. Coming from Gal 1, Gal 2, it was always easy to find a game. In the 4v4 playlist, but it was a little bit more difficult last night.
Yeah, I just want to point out, speaking of playlists, Pete, Quinn, however many of you are in here from Epic, the whole Stranded playlist thing you guys are doing, it's perfect. Just keep it up. I mean, Gears of War, majority of people who hop in, they don't have a party. They just hop in and go. I mean, because if you hop in a ranked match and you have a full party, you always get matched up against the other team, all individual parties. Yeah. That's how it always is. And this whole Stranded thing is beautiful. I mean,
that's cool.
And what's up, man? Where's the Brothers to the End? I was looking to get on that the other day. Again, I look for it daily. I thought it's easily the best game type.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, honestly, I think there should be... I would love for there to be a Stranded of everything. But I know that will probably cost a lot. But even Stranded Alpha, because it is the competitive players, but it's not big, that's the problem. If we made Alpha grow and got a Stranded Alpha, think of the people who just hop in, they don't have a party. But they can still play competitive because it's 4 people that are that competitive mindset. I mean,
but if you have a competitive mindset,
but
I want to be talking to my team.
No,
I would
know.
never join it.
Yeah, but think about it. You hop in King of the Hill ranked, TDM ranked. You'll hop in with people you'll have 2 guys that know what they're doing and 2 guys running around just shooting in the air, not knowing what's going on. If you hop in Stranded Alpha, then you're not going to really worry because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but I mean, Crream, when you run a Stranded Alpha playlist kind of thing, I mean, let's say we go to Hotel and it's a boom round. I mean, come on, bro. The last thing you want is a guy running in and grabbing sniper on you, and leaving the rest of you guys with your pipe in your hand,
Well, it's competitively. I mean, the Alpha playlist, people don't really play like that. I mean, at least from what I've experienced, there's people here and there they do it for YouTube clips pretty much. They'll just whore all the power weapons, but Stranded is just the way to go. I mean, for the best playlist, there should be a Stranded.
I agree 100%. And I made a strong point on that on YouTube. I think that based on the statistics, and I still haven't gotten the number, but last I heard it was some astronomical number of players in Gears of War play by themselves. So why not have a Stranded playlist? It makes sense to me. So I love it.
Any other things you guys want to cover or we want to say?
Well, yeah, just one thing, which I think everyone right now listening to this watching the stream, how can we all hit the ground running post Hyperstation? Because there is going to be some post-event hype. It's going to be a great event with lots of viewers. How can we make the most of that? Regardless of what anyone else does, any other organization, MLG, whatever, how can Hyperstation hit the ground running? What are we going to do? Are we going to produce some content, some streams, some YouTube, whatever? You know, let's all do something. Let's talk about it now so people can get an idea of exactly what they can do.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I mean,
So,
you know,
so
it
is that
comes
the
down to
question of the week right there? Is that what we're leaving that off with? The question of the week?
Please, you know, I want everyone, Europe, America, to just do something. Upload a video. You know, contribute. If you don't post on a forum, sign up to a forum. You can get Gal Nation, the Epic forums, galforum.net, you know, the UK one. Sign up, post. You know, get your name out there. Try a team out. You know, anything. Just guys, you know, let's work together. We are growing. This is going to be a great community. And post hype, I think things are really going to start to blow up, especially with shows like ActiveReload. I mean, come on. You know, it's such an informative show. You know, you get guests from every week. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing because I see it all in the chat. You guys talking about going to Epic Forums. If you go to the Epic Forums, for the love of God, be respectful. I went through my own thing months back, and you know I completely changed it all. It's all good now, but do not do something stupid in the Epic Forums, please. They already pretty much hate the competitive community when we go in there. Every time we try, there's a fight. Be kind. I mean, if they want to troll you, just ignore it because it happens.
That's
but
what Twitter's for.
yeah, just please be respectful in the Epic Forums, please. Please. I'm saying this from experience myself. Don't do what I did a while ago.
I got on Kenny.
Yeah, it was just me being dumb one night. I don't even know why I did it. It's just I was in one of those troll moods and I did it. Just don't do it. That's all I got.
We know who you are.
Just don't do it. I've learned not to troll the Epic Forums anymore. Not happening.
Yeah, my lesson I would just like to say is I probably get the one question the most is, you know, players ask me how to get involved and how do I find a team and stuff like that. And, you know, just don't be discouraged. There's so many people out there trying to get in, and what everybody's saying is just, you know, get on the forums. Ask for a scrimmage. I mean, I don't think anybody would you know, get inside the streams and just ask for a scrim. Hop on Twitter and tweet people. I mean, I'm always retweeting anybody, and I'm sure everybody would do the same thing. So just don't be afraid to ask any of the players anything or just to get involved. And honestly, you just climb from there. I mean, we just want, you know, we want more players and more people competing. So it's not as hard to, you know, to get in there and start playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you think.
Coming up next week, Hypefestation previews, boy. Next week's episode is going to go absolute bananas. All the teams, what's going on, and how things are going to be going down.
Yep.
We got Loco's question. You know, what are we going to do post Hypefestation? You know, how are we going to keep the movement growing?
Yeah. Next week for you guys, CDN. I know you guys have been asking. You want him on the show. As far as I know, because I talked to him a week ago, he will be on the show. I want him to talk about everything going on at Hyperstation. Barbosa is going to hop on for a little bit. He's got a few things he wants to say. Next week is going to be a whole episode dedicated to Hyperstation, previews of the teams, predictions, you know, what's going to go on in the event. It's going to be good.
There's not going to be a bracket set up yet, though? Bracket's not happening until Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to hear a little bit more about this Druids team too. Anything you know about them, Loco? I know them.
They're a Swedish team. I personally think they're an up-and-coming team. And what's great is that they're not a UK team. You know, when you think Europe, I know a lot of you are thinking UK. But there's some great French teams, some great, just general continental European teams out there, and it'd be great if we see them, you know, if we see a team like them out of the States in the future, you know, because when they come back with the experience that they have in America, it's not just us spreading that kind of, you know, of gameplay, it's them as well, so it helps us grow a lot. And they're quite professional, they're really nice guys. Yeah, you know, there's so many people in teams in Europe who I think we're going to see a lot of in the future.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, very good.
I'm excited.
Cool.
I'm excited for next week.
Before we close out, you guys mind if we do some shout-outs?
No, go ahead. That's what we usually do.
Kick it off.
Plug your stuff, whatever you want to plug.
Yeah, cool. So, you know, thanks to you guys once more for having me on. Yeah, it's great show. I love it. I watch every week. So thank you for that. I'm going to see you all at Hyperstation. CDN and Co, you know, you guys got us the invite to go out there as well. I can't wait to start competing in the States again. I love it. It's what I do. It's what I love to do. And to be back on Gears of War from Halo again, it's just, yeah, it's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, I feel like I'm at home again. So anyway, we've got GalForum.net, the European hub, part of the Deserto and Compete Media family, so check those guys out. Scuff Gaming, control pads, the ultimate professional gaming pad. You guys got to check them out. Honestly, anyone you ask about who has a Scuff pad, it's the best. Apex, my team, Fitzer, Reese, Reaction, you'll see us all out there in the States. And also, if anyone has any questions about the European community, about my team, whatever, you can hit me up on Skype, on Joshua Nino, on my Twitter, @Loco. Cheers, guys.
Rob.
All right. First off, I apologize. Will not be streaming over the next couple weeks in preparation for the tournament. None of my teammates will be. So I want to thank everybody that does tune in to my channel, rawtalentgaming.com. We are the only team with the triple live stream set up. So the community that watches us is so amazing. So I want to thank all you. And from that, moving up, anybody that just watches, these streams in general, supporting Gears of War. This is what I love to do. This is my escape, and the fact that there's a competition behind it is just, I'm grateful for that. So thank everybody who watched tonight. I appreciate what everybody does in this show and in general. And I just want to thank everybody that supports. Love playing with my teammates. Shout out to Brian, Dan, Gabe, and shout out to my beautiful girlfriend Nicole, who puts up with me doing all this stuff and talking for an hour and a half.
I can't wait for you to get off the headset. arCtyC.
Okay, so I gotta give a shout out to all my teammates putting in the work day in, day out. Dada has been phenomenal. We are coming together slowly but surely. We're taking our lumps right now, but I think we'll be ready to go for Hypefestation. So shout out to those guys for putting in the work, Phobo, Skyless, and Dada. Gotta give a shout out to Team Razor and just all the support that they've given to not only our team, but the Gears of War community in general. They are very eager for the season 2012 to start rolling around, whether it be Hypefestation or MLG. So you guys got to show some love to Razor. And I do have some really good information on some new stuff that they're making, some improvements. You guys know what I'm talking about. So be on the lookout for that, and I'm working very closely with them to make sure that it is a lot better. I'll say that much for you guys. They've been phenomenal. Shout out to all of our supporters, YouTube, my personal YouTube channel, our team's channel. You guys are just fantastic. Everyone that's in this chat, everyone that's on this stream, this show. Just phenomenal community, and it's continuing to get better. So I love you guys. I wouldn't switch for anything. Wouldn't switch it for anything. I love you guys.
Cool. Major shout out to Kona's Corner, so you can check out all your live rebroadcasts at Active Reload, Beyond Gaming. The guys out there are too real. It's been a pleasure playing with you guys. You know what I'm saying? We're grinding out pretty good. You can follow me at DaFacex on Twitter, and appreciate it. Hypefestation.com, and next week's going to be the Hypefestation preview show, and then come for the actual tournament. We're gonna go completely crazy. It's gonna be one of them momentous experiences. I'm really looking forward for all you guys to tune in and to be seeing all you clowns out there soon.
I'm ready to lose my voice.
And
y'all
any
don't
creep
even know.
Yeah, just once again, shout out to Kona's Corner, because we are partnering with them, and all the past broadcasts can be found on there. They've been doing a great job advertising us. Also shout out to Gal Nation and G-Con, big supporters of Gears of War. And shout out to you guys once again, because we hit 500 viewers tonight. It's been getting bigger every week. I want to keep it up, keep the ball rolling. And I don't know, I just love it. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, all our Twitters are right under our camp spot, as you can see. And tune in next week where we're going to be covering all of Hypefestation, and you do not want to miss that. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.
Later.
Cheers, guys. In a bit.
Take care.